Hi everyone, I'm Sharon and today I'm going to be teaching a Vinyasa flow class and we're going to be focusing on our solar plexus chakra, the Manipura chakra. And our solar plexus chakra is an energetic center in the body that is responsible for our own personal power. So not power over others, but power over ourselves and our own self-will. So in today's class, I'll bring your attention to your solar plexus. And the solar plexus is the area that is between the navel and the bottom of the sternum. Right around here, there's a plexus of nerves. It's called the solar plexus. And we'll be doing a lot of extending the spine, which requires you to allow the solar plexus area to have some length and space. So we're going to get started today in child's pose. So go ahead and excuse me. Come. Sit. Speaking of personal power, down. Right, here we go. We'll start in child's pose. Toes together, knees apart, resting. Bringing attention to your back body, moving with your breath. Taking a moment to let the rest of the day drop away from your attention. Noticing that your body is moving with your breath. Noticing that right around the belly button, there's movement against your thighs when you're breathing. And then I'll have you come forward onto your belly. And here on your belly, you'll notice that the movement of your breathing is pushing your belly into the floor. Sorry, my dog is kissing my feet right now. And then you're going to move your forearms next to your ribs with your hands underneath your shoulders, your hands resting on the floor, forearms resting on the floor, and gently pushing up to a Sphinx Pose. So in Sphinx Pose, you're almost like trying to slide your forearms towards you as you push down through the forearms, extending the solar plexus, extending the upper abdominal wall, pushing your toes and your toenails into the floor. And you're pushing so hard into the floor with your toenails that your kneecaps leave the ground. And then you can gently roll down. You'll bring the hands next to the ribs, sliding the shoulder blades together on the back. You're going to roll up to a gentle cobra. Bring the shoulder blades a little bit down the back, pushing the toenails into the floor. And rolling down. Rolling up, shoulders go down the back, away from the ears. Pushing the toenails into the ground. And rolling down. Tuck the toes, pushing into the knees and into the hands to push up to a tabletop. And here, we'll start with a little cat-cow, dropping the belly, looking out for cow, and then Dropping the top of the head towards the floor, letting the tailbone drop down towards the ground, pushing into the floor to arch the spine up into cat. Back to cow. So in cow, the solar plexus is more open. And in cat, there's some flexion through the front of the torso and through the solar plexus, the upper abdominal wall. And we'll flow a little bit here. From cat into cow. Warming up the spine. Let's come back to a neutral spine. You're going to reach your right foot behind you with the toes on the ground and reaching your left hand in front of you, and then kicking so hard through the right heel that it floats off the ground for balancing table. Then you're going to bend your right knee, reach back with your left hand, reaching for the ankle, pushing down to the ground with the right hand, and extending the right heel up towards the ceiling to open the front of the chest, to open the abdominal wall. So there's a little bit of work there, but it's happening for you. Without slingshotting, reach the left hand forward and right leg back, coming back down, and push back to child's pose. So often people think that they have to constantly tighten the abdominal muscles. The abdominal muscles move. Notice how they're moving against your thighs here in child's pose. At the same time that your back body is also moving with your breath. And pushing back up to the belly. Let's come forward. Move forearms to the ground, pushing your toenails into the floor as you push up to Sphinx Pose again. Really extending, so as you pull your forearms towards you, that extends the front of the spine. Shoulders are down away from your ears, so you're not sinking into your shoulders. Shoulders are down away from your ears. Solar plexus, the upper abdominal wall is open. And then rolling back down. Sliding the hands back next to the ribs. And once again, checking your legs so you're pushing the tops of the feet into the ground as you extend for Cobra Pose. And rolling down. We'll roll up again. Pushing the tops of the feet, toenails into the ground, and maybe even floating your hands off the floor. So as you extend the spine, the front of the body opens. And then coming back down. We'll push up to a tabletop. For some more cat-cow. So starting to get a little heat into the muscles of the back, warming up the spine. Maybe do a little flowing action, rolling the spine, getting the spine warmed up, looking towards the right foot, and then the whole spine arcs towards the left, looking over towards the left foot, whole spine arcs towards the right, and doing any movements that feel good here. We want a flexible, moving spine. So as you extend the spine, the solar plexus opens. As you round the spine, solar plexus and the abdominal wall is working a little bit more. We'll come back to a neutral tabletop. And this time you'll reach your left foot behind you, the toes on the ground, and reach your right hand in front of you. Pushing so hard through the left foot, it floats. Floating table, balancing table. Bending the left knee, reaching back with your right hand. So there's a little twist here. Chest is open, the abdominal wall is long. I'm not dumping into my belly though. There is some natural tone here, but it is elongated for sure. And then reaching the right hand forward, left leg back. Coming back to tabletop. Tuck your toes, and we'll push up for our first down dog of the class. Maybe keeping your knees bent to start. Pushing strongly into the hands, the whole hand. So the ball of the hand by the pointer finger, the pinky, the thumbs. Then you can start to walk the dog. Warming up the legs. And then you can let both heels find the floor, come as close to the floor as possible. And you're going to reach your left leg back for three-legged dog. Step it through the inside of both your hands for a lunge. Take a moment here. So it's really tempting to actually round here and shorten the solar plexus. So here we want to extend the front of the body, even though we're in a lunge. Then you're going to let your back foot, your right foot, come at a 45-degree angle, and you're pushing up through the legs to come into Warrior One. So there is an extension of the spine in Warrior One, so there's some link through the solar plexus, but we're not dumping into the low back ribs. Now I'll have you clasp your hands behind your back, reaching your knuckles down your back leg, opening the front of the body, opening the chest, and forward fold. For humble warrior. Both legs are strong, so you can reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling. And let it go. We'll come back to Warrior One. And we'll open up to Warrior Two. So your back leg's at a 45-degree angle. Reaching both fingertips of both arms away from center. And then we'll reverse the warrior. So reaching up. Now I personally like to reach straight up instead of back, because then you get all of this length through the whole waist, through not only through the solar plexus, but the whole circumference of the core. And bring the left elbow to the left knee, taking the right hand underneath for side angle. One straight line from your fingertips to your right ankle. Getting some heat into the legs. And here, this is another place where people might curl. So we want a long abdominal wall. Pushing through the front leg to come back to Warrior Two. And let's rotate over. We're going to come up to center. And we're going to go to the second side. Then bringing the arms back around and stepping back for downward dog. Pushing into the hands, pushing the floor away. If you find that you are curling through the spine, bend your knees so the spine and the abdominal wall are long. So we don't want to curl through the front of the body in downward dog. And letting yourself build some heat, letting the breath come in and out of the nose keeps the heat into the body. Extending the right leg behind you. Three-legged dog, stepping it through for lunge. Right knee is right on top of the right ankle. So once again, length through the front of the body, length through the hip flexor on the left side. And then you're going to turn your left foot out so it's at a 45-degree angle and pushing up to Warrior One. From here, we're going to reach back and switch the grasp of your hands with the awkward grasp, reaching the knuckles down the back. So this is chest opener and opener of the solar plexus, and we'll fold forward for humble warrior. So maybe you can get your upper body inside of your right leg, or if not, you're aiming in that direction. Pushing down through the floor, through the legs to come back up to warrior one. And then opening up to warrior two. We're going to reverse the warrior, reaching up, lengthening through the abdominal so you're not dumping the abdominal long here. And bring the right elbow to right knee for side angle, swiping the left hand underneath. One straight line from your fingertips down to the outside of the left heel. So because your body is changing how it's breathing, because you have more demand, there's going to be more movement through here. Solar plexus moves, the low ribs move. Pushing down to come up back to warrior two. We're going to switch to go the other direction. Swiping the arms over. Framing the left foot, stepping back for child, and then pushing back to child's pose. So noticing how your body is moving with your breathing, changing how it's breathing. So we'll tuck the toes, pushing back to downward dog. Kick the left foot back, stepping it through to in between the right and left hands, turning the right foot out at a 45-degree angle for warrior one. Clasping the hands behind the back, reaching the knuckles down the back leg, looking up, extending the front of the body, and folding forward into humble warrior. Torso comes inside the left thigh. Reaching both knuckles up towards the ceiling. Pushing down, unclasping the hands, reaching up. So this is where it becomes very tempting to let those low ribs flare. I'm going to bring them right underneath and opening up to warrior two. Let's reverse the warrior. Reaching up. So there's tone in the belly, but it's not clenched. And side angle. Reaching the arm underneath. Pushing down to come back up to warrior two. And then we're going to revolve the arms, reaching the arms over, framing the left foot, stepping the right foot to meet the left for a forward fold. Half lift. Maybe your fingertips come to your shins. Maybe your fingertips come to the floor. And forward fold. Take the head out. Bend the knees a little bit, push down to come up for extended mountain. So here from extended mountain, we're going to reach the right thigh up. It's almost like you're putting your right foot on a bench, and you're going to actually step it behind you for a little curtsy. Opening up the outside of the right hip, outside of the right ribs. And then coming back to right foot on the bench, you're going to fold the right ankle on top of the left knee for a figure four pose. So warming up the hips, opening up the outside of the right hip. And we're also working some balance here. So in balancing poses, it's very tempting to overwork the upper body to try to maintain the balance. I'm gonna let the foot rest and open onto the floor. Push up to come up, bringing the right thigh back up. And then you're gonna bring the right foot on the inside of the left thigh, pushing the left thigh and the right foot together for tree pose. Reaching up, maybe opening the hands, extending the front of the body. So there is some length through the front of the body and natural tone that already happens for you. So from here now, we're gonna bring the right knee back in, back to the foot up on the bench, and you're gonna reach your right leg back for warrior three. Both toes, all the toes are pointing down, pinky toes pointing down, arms are reaching forward. I'm actually gonna give myself a little bit more room here for warrior three. Now here, it's tempting once again to curl up. We wanna extend through the solar plexus. One line for that T shape through warrior three. And go ahead, stepping back down. Take a moment, notice your body. Notice that there is some work through the abdominal area, but you don't have to clench it and hold it. It moves with your breathing. And now, here we're going to bend the right knee behind you, grabbing the right ankle with your right hand, and then you're reaching up with the left hand. We're going to come forward into dancer pose. So the left leg is your root to the ground. As you kick through your right leg, you reach forward, look forward, find a spot. Just find a drishti to look at, so that helps you keep your balance. And if you lose your balance, just come back into the pose, it's okay. The more you kick through the back leg, the more there's length through the front of the body. And floating back up if you can, with control. Bringing right foot down, shaking out the left, and now we're going to try twisted dancer. So same thing, bringing the right foot up, grabbing your right foot with your left hand, taking the right hand up, and as you lean forward, you look forward, find one spot to look at, find a drishti, reach forward as far as you can, and you're kicking through the back leg. That opens the front of the body, opens the solar plexus, and there's work happening there at the same time. Bring the knee down, whew. Both hands up, shake it out. All right, let's do the second side. So reach up, forward fold. And actually, let's turn and face the other direction. Stepping back to downward dog. So this is an active pose. Make sure, check in that you're not curling your spine, but you're letting your knees bend if your spine wants to fold. So you're extending through the front of the body, heels finding the ground. And we'll reach the right leg back. Step it forward for a lunge. Turning the left foot out to a 45-degree angle for warrior one. So checking the ribs that you're not flaring them out. There is some work here, but there's length through the front of the belly, through the front of the belly. Reaching the hands back behind you. Send those knuckles down the back, chest opener, heart opener, solar plexus opener, and then folding into humble warrior. Pushing down to come up, reaching up, opening up to warrior two. So there is some length through the abdominal, but you're not dumping into the low back. Reaching back, reaching up with the right hand and back with the left, down the left leg for reverse warrior. Reaching as far away with your fingertips as possible. So it's a big movement. Swiping your left hand underneath for side angle. Pushing into the legs, come back to warrior two. And then you're going to revolve the arms around, framing the right foot, stepping forward with the left for a forward fold. So with all the extension of the spine, the forward fold is really nice for opening up the back of the body. Extend the spine, lengthening through the spine. Forward fold. Notice in forward fold that there might be some more movement in the low back with your breathing. Bending the knees slightly, pushing down through the ground to come up to extended mountain. Going to take your left foot up, reach it behind you for a curtsy. And then reaching both hands over to the right. So opening up the whole left side. I love this stretch. Pushing up, bringing the left foot onto the bench. And we'll go into a figure four. So in figure four, once again, we don't want to curl through the spine. The spine is long. You send the seat back. Spine is long, neck is long, belly is long in figure four. And you're letting your foot spread out onto the ground to maintain balance instead of holding your breath and clenching your jaw. Pushing down to come up. And then we're going to bring the left foot against the right inner thigh. You can also have the foot on the calf or the toes on the ground, heel against the ankle, the right ankle. Full expression is left foot is pushing against right thigh for tree pose. Reach up, look up. So there's extension through the solar plexus. The solar plexus is open, but it's not dumping forward. Bring the left knee in and reach the left foot back for warrior three. If you fall out of the pose, no big deal. Just come back in. So there's length through the front of the body. You're not curling here. Length through the belly, length through the back of the leg. Toes are pointing down in the back. And bringing the foot down. All right, great job. And so now we'll move into our dancer pose. You can have your right hand on your right hip, bending the left knee, reaching back, reaching on the inside of the left ankle. Take the right hand straight up. You want to find a drishti. You want to find a point to look at. So you're more in balance, using your eyes to balance. As you kick the left heel back, you reach forward with the right hand, opening the front of the body, opening the abdominal wall, but not dumping. As you kick through the left foot, there's an extension through the spine. Don't hold your breath, let breath out. As you come out of it with as much control as possible. All right. Bring the left foot down, shake the right foot out, and let's do twisted dancer. So this time, same thing. You're going to bend the left foot, go back left knee, grab it with you, grab the inside of the left ankle with your right hand, reach the left hand up, and then kicking through the right leg, twisted dancer. So the front of the body is long. You're looking out, you're extending the spine. You're seeing far away. Then, gently, slowly, kindly, let the leg come down, reaching up. And then we're going to step back, turn back around to our first side for child's pose. A little rest here. Notice these low floating ribs are moving with your breath. Tucking the toes. All right. Let's flow through that whole sequence. Tucking the toes, coming into downward dog. Okay. Reaching the left leg back. Stepping it through in between the hands. Flipping the right foot so it's on a 45-degree angle for warrior one. Long abdominal wall, open solar plexus but not dumped. Reach back behind you, send those knuckles down your back and fold for humble warrior. Pushing up to come up, reach up for warrior one, open up for warrior two, reach up for reverse warrior. And left elbow to left knee, sliding the right hand underneath for side angle. Pushing down to come back to warrior two. Bring the arms around, framing the left foot, bring the right foot forward for forward fold. Half lift, forward fold. Bending the knees, reaching out to come up for extended mountain. Bringing your right foot up like it's on a bench. And then from here, we're going to reach the right foot back behind us for a curtsy, opening up the right ribs, the right outside of the hip. Pushing down to come up. Folding the right ankle over the left knee, sending the hips back. Hands are in prayer. You can have right elbow on right knee, left elbow on left ankle. So you should feel this on the outside of your right hip. You are not curling through your spine. There's length from the tailbone to the top of the head. Pushing down through the left foot to come up. And then we'll bring the right foot on the inside of the left thigh for tree pose. Maybe take the hands into a high V. Maybe look up. All of this openness through the front of the body. So glorious. Bring the hands together. Taking the right knee up, and then you're going to reach the right foot back. Toes are pointing down to the ground. You are in parallel, so you're not opening the hip up. Reaching the hands forward for warrior three. This is an extension of the spine, so you are not flexing forward and curling the front of the body. Let's come back to standing. Maybe shake out the left ankle. You're going to find your balance on the left leg again, letting the left foot open onto the ground as you bend the right knee. Reaching back behind you with your right hand, the inside of the right ankle, reaching up through the left arm, and kicking back for dancer pose. Finding one spot to look at helps with your balance. If you come out of it, just come back into it. We kick into it. And oops, we'll float out of it. And we'll do twisted dancer. Bending the right knee, reaching back, reaching the inside of the right ankle with your left hand, reaching up with the right hand, and fold forward. Really reach strongly with the fingertips of the right hand, kicking through the right foot, opening the chest, opening the front of the body, and come out of it as gracefully as possible. Reaching up, and we'll turn to do our second side. Reaching up and folding. Let's take it back to a child's pose for a little rest. Letting these low floating ribs Move as breath comes in and out of your body. Coming up, tucking the toes, pushing back to downward dog. Hopefully there's more heat in your body. If you can reach the heels towards the ground. Shake the head out. And let's move on. Take the right heel back for three-legged dog. Toes are pointing down. Step it through for a lunge. Extending through the front of the body. Turning the left foot out on a 45-degree angle, pushing up to warrior one. Really attempting to sort of angle out towards the left side. You want to bring the right hip back, left hip forward. Reach the hands behind you on the awkward position of the fingers. Looking up, extending the front of the spine. So glorious. And folding into humble warrior. Pushing down to come up back to warrior one. Opening up to warrior two. Right knee on top of the right ankle. Reaching up so we don't want to let our hips dump forward. We're right on top of the pelvis. Abdominal wall is long. Reaching down the left leg with the left hand. Oh, and side angle. Pushing up to come back to warrior two. We'll bring the arms around to frame the right foot. Stepping forward for forward fold. Maybe hugging the ankles, hugging behind the calves. Half lift so you can bring your hands to your shins. Maybe your fingertips just barely brush the floor, and folding back down to forward fold. Letting the knees bend slightly to come back up for extended mountain. Bring that left knee up, like left toes on a bench. And you're gonna reach the left foot behind you for curtsy. Opening the whole left side. Pushing down to come up. Left thigh up, and we'll move forward. Figure four. Send the hips back. Right elbow on right ankle. Left elbow on left knee. Long spine. Open solar plexus. Open belly. Pushing up to come up. Bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh for tree pose. Maybe looking up, maybe opening the hands. Receiving. And here you'll bring the left knee in and reach the left foot back for warrior three. This is an extension of the spine, so you don't want to curl forward. If you lose balance and come out of it, just come right back into the pose. Both toes, all the toes are pointing down, especially the pinky toe. And coming back to standing, maybe shaking out the right ankle. We'll go in for dancer pose. So your weight's going down through the right leg. The right foot's opening onto the floor, bending your left knee, bringing your hand to the inside of the left ankle, reaching up with the right hand, kicking back through the left foot. Front of the body is open. This is open through the solar plexus. Looking far away, finding a drishti. If you come out of it, just come right back in. No big deal. Gracefully letting the left foot come down. We'll switch and we'll do twisted dancer. So bending the left knee again, reaching back with the right hand to the inside of left ankle. Reaching up through the left arm and kicking back with the left foot for twisted dancer. Revolved dancer. letting the left knee come down, letting the left foot find the ground, shaking it out. All right, good job. Let's come down now. So let's reach up. I'm gonna slow it down. Diving towards the floor, letting breath out. Going into forward fold. Half lift, fingertips to the shins. And melting down, going deeper into forward fold. Bringing your hands to the ground, letting your knees come to the ground. And pushing back for child's pose. Maybe you want to reach your hands down by your feet. That can help open up the upper back. Notice your back body breathing. After our hard work, we reward ourselves with this luscious, slow, juicy movement. Pushing up, tuck the toes, come up to down dog. So whole torso, whole spine, front of the belly is long here. Shaking the head out. Go ahead and reach your right foot back behind you for three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip, letting the right toes find the ground, pushing the hips up towards the sky for a wild thing. Another solar plexus opener, opening the front of the body, extending the spine. Really enjoy this. Coming back, bringing the right hand back to the mat, reaching through the right heel behind you. Toes are down now. You're back in parallel. And bringing the right knee behind the right wrist. Reaching back through the left leg. So we'll extend our pigeon first. So here, solar plexus is open and long. We don't want to be curled forward. You can also bring a little cushion underneath the right hip if you find that you're falling out. And then fold it over for reclined pigeon. Really bringing your attention into your body. Your low floating ribs way down here are moving as air comes into and out of your body. Bring your hands underneath you, pushing back up, tucking the toes. You're gonna reach your right leg back, shake it out. And bringing the right foot to the outside of the right hand for lizard. So you can stay here, you can bring the left knee down. Also, if you want to have a little cushion, So I have a towel back there. If you want to have a little cushion underneath your knee, you can do that. So extending the front of the body here. We don't want to be rounded here. We're extending the solar plexus, extending the hip flexor on the left side. And then maybe bringing your forearms down to the ground. So very often people will curl up here in lizard. So we want to extend the front of the body. So it's actually better to be up higher if going down on your forearms curls you up. And then here with your back leg, you're going to bring the weight of the back leg to the top of the knee. So you're not on the kneecap, bending the left knee, reaching back behind you with the right hand for a twist. This also opens the chest, opens the abdominal wall, the solar plexus. So we're not curled forward here. We're open, almost leaning back a little bit. Strong sensation, then you let breath out. See if you can hang with it. Bringing the right hand back around, finding the floor with the left toes, and then pushing back so that your hips are on top of your left knee, flexing through the right foot in the front for half splits. Now, once again, really tempting to round here. We want to extend and open the belly so it's long, spine is long. And then if your spine is long, then you can let your torso come down around onto your right leg. Lengthening the back of the right thigh. Bring your weight on top of your right foot. Doing any little movements that feel good. Let's bring the right knee back for another child's pose. Pushing back. Coming back up to your tabletop, tucking your toes for downward dog. Sending the hips back, sending the heels down. Just notice how you already feel different. Let's kick the left heel back. Toes are pointing down, pinky toe is down. Then you're going to open up the pelvis, bending the left heel towards the left buttock, and then reaching the left foot towards the ground, sending the hips up, reaching back for wild thing. Opening up the front of the body. And bringing the left hand back down to the ground. Kicking back for a three-legged dog. And then sliding the left knee behind the left wrist for pigeon. So if you want less, bringing the left heel closer to you. You want more on the outside of the hip, bringing the left heel further away. Toes are pointing down. Your weight is not on the outside of the left hip. You can bring a pillow, bolster, blanket underneath the left hip if you feel like you're rolling over to that side. And let's lengthen through the front of the torso. And fold for reclined pigeon. Pushing up. Hands underneath you. Tucking the back toes. Reaching back. Let's shake that left leg out a little bit. And we'll reach it forward to the outside of the left hand. Letting the right knee find the ground. For lizard, we're extended through the front of the body. Not curling, not rounding and closing off the solar plexus. Maybe bringing the weight down onto the forearms if you can still have length through the solar plexus. Opening through the front of the right hip. Pushing up to come to both hands. You're going to bring the weight onto the top of the right knee, so you're not in the kneecap. Bending the right knee, reaching back behind you with the left hand to grab the heel, opening the front of the chest, twisting through the spine. Stay with it. Let's bring the left hand back down. Bring the right toes down. We'll push back to bring the pelvis on top of the right knee for half splits. Long belly, long torso. Folding over the left leg. And coming up, bringing the left foot behind you. Let's bring the hips down to the ground. And let's come onto our backs. You can reach both legs forward, both heels forward, reaching your hands forward and rolling back. So this does take you through flexion of the solar plexus and the abdominal as you roll down. And bend both knees. And come into happy baby. So bending both knees towards the outside of the ribs. Maybe bring your hands to your ankles. Maybe bring your hands to the outsides of your feet. And as you hang out here a little bit, we don't want to curl and lift the tailbone off the ground. I'm going to send the tailbone, the sacrum down onto the ground so there's length through the abdominal wall, length through the solar plexus. The movement of your breathing massages your solar plexus. Maybe extending the right leg and bending the left. Extending the left leg, bending the right. Let both feet find the ground. I like to do it one at a time because that keeps the low back supported by the floor. And a little windshield wiper here. Push into both feet. You're going to send with the hips, send them over to your right. Let both knees go over to the left for a supine twist. Reaching the right arm out to the side. Little gentle twist. So we're not doing a deep twist here. Notice how open you are through the front of the body. And of course, if you want more, you can extend the right heel towards the left, opening the outside of the right hip. Bending the right knee, bring both knees back up. We'll do the second side, pushing into the feet, bringing the hips over to the left, and letting both knees swing over to the right, extending the left arm out to the side, maybe looking to the left. And if you want to go further into it, you can bring the left leg on top of the right, kicking through the left heel. So here in this twist, I can actually feel the area of my solar plexus moving with my breathing. It's a moving part of us. Bending the left knee. Bringing both knees back up towards the ceiling. We'll bend the knees and hug them in. Maybe bringing your forehead up to your knees. So we're going into the flexion of the spine here. Laying down. Both feet on the floor. Letting the arms rest away from the armpits and the ribs. Extending the left leg. Extending the right. You're in corpse pose. Hip flexors are long and open. Solar plexus is open here as well. Take a few minutes here in corpse pose. Letting the weight of your body drop into the floor. Letting every out breath melt you deeper into a resting state. The weight of the feet drop into the floor. The weight of the calves drop into the floor. The thighs rest into the floor. The big, weighty pelvis rests into the floor. You get to let go there. Letting go of the abdominal wall. Letting go of the low floating ribs. They drop into the floor. Letting the shoulder blades drop into the floor. Letting the upper arms fall into the floor. Armpits soften, so you're not squeezing the arms into the armpits. You get to let go of your neck. The weight of your head drops into the floor. Just let yourself rest. You can begin to bring your attention back into your body. Sliding the thumb against the tips of the rest of the fingers, and wiggling the fingers, curling the toes and stretching the toes, circling the ankles and the wrists, yawn and stretch. And when you're ready, you can roll to your side lazily, lovingly. When you're ready, looking down towards the floor to push up to a seated position. Maybe grabbing something to put underneath your sits bones to sit with an extended spine. So sometimes we'll come up from laying down to a seated position with a curled up abdominal wall. So we want a little bit of support underneath the sits bones so that the abdominal wall, the solar plexus, is long and open and breathable. Letting the chin move down just a millimeter to lengthen the back of the neck. Notice how long you are through your torso. Reach up, look up, bringing both hands together and sliding them down. Bring your thumbs to in between your eyebrows. I'm so grateful that you spent this time with me to practice. We'll look up. Let's fold over. Thank you so much. Namaste. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. My name is Sharon Jacobisi Clem, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.